Holy cow! Welcome to Donnie's Hangout Adventures. Before I get into what I want to talk about, I know I usually do a lot about deaths, but with the Hawaiian Samoans, I don't really have much to say because it's way before my fandom in wrestling. Now, this is very strange. Afa and Sika, they were brothers, wild Samoans. They both died within about a month and a half, which is pretty strange. You don't hear that too often because the other brother ended up dying. I can't remember which one was Afa or Sika, but they both ended up dying within a month and a half, which, that's pretty rare to hear that. They must have been really close as brothers because, I don't know, the whole Hawaii family is close as it is. Now, so I'm going to say rest in peace to both of the wild Samoans. I don't really have anything else to add. So I'm going to move on to the main topic that I'm going to be talking about in this, and that is Colin Kaepernick. Now, there is a huge fan base for Colin. Thinks he's a good quarterback. He's average. He was average as a quarterback. As a human being, he's even more average, maybe below average. And let's be honest, he's been out of the league since the 2016 season when, he thought the American flag stood for racism and all that shit, where he was a white guy and all of a sudden he became a black guy as he grew an afro. It's reminiscent of Kamala, her running for presidency. She didn't really bring up the fact that she was black, but now that she's running for president, all of a sudden she's black. But she went from a white woman to a black woman. Colin's like that. He went from a white guy to a black guy wearing an afro. And the team didn't really succeed, the 49ers. They didn't really succeed under Colin. No, they really didn't. They were bad before. They were worse when Colin was quarterback. They went 1-10. And he's been out of the league ever since. And he still wants to start in the NFL. Yes, he doesn't want to be a backup. No, he doesn't want to be a backup. He wants to start. He's 36. He's been out of the league for over 8 years. 8 years. And has any team contacted him in those 8 years? Yes and no. There's been a couple offers where he could be a backup. He said no. He has no problem with saying no, clearly. So, why? Why has he not accepted? And why has there been no big-time offers in those 8 years? A distraction. Plain and simple. It's a distraction. It's going to be a circus. A complete and utter circus. Because this guy's going to take a knee. He's going to take a knee every game. There's bad teams after every year that are looking for their next quarterback. They're looking for the next elite quarterback in the NFL. Panthers, horrible team last year, 2-15. Did they call Colin? No. Did he need a quarterback? Yeah. Colin's going to be a distraction. They know that from the get-go. Now, let's go on to Jim Harbaugh. What does Jim Harbaugh have to do with this? Actually, more than you think. He's a current Chargers coach, as you all know. He was the 49ers head coach from 2011 to 2014, as well Colin was there during that time. So, Mr. Harbaugh knew Colin when he was white, and then when he transitioned into a black person and he grew his afro, so he knew him at both aspects. So he knew when he was white, and he knew when he was black. And so, now listen, before I continue with this, I'm not racist. I'm just making a point here with Colin that he tries to be a sympathetic figure. And he's done that the entire time he was in the NFL and the entire time he's been out of the NFL. I'm not racist. If you're black, that's fine. You're Mexican, fine. Whatever. I don't care. I'm not racist. I never have been. But with Collin, he plays the race card, which I can't stand. I've never been able to stand that whatsoever. Now, that was standing. I should have mentioned that at the beginning of the video. Now, Jim Harbaugh reached out to Collin for a coaching position. But Mr. Colin Kaepernick said no, because he still wants to get in the NFL. Listen, Colin, there's no team that's going to be knocking on your door saying, hey, do you want to start this year? No, there's no team in the NFL. There's no team in arena football. There's no team in the Canadian Football League. There's no team in the world that was going to contact you. Quite frankly, I think you should have taken the coaching position. But he did not. Now, why? And why would he? You know what? But you know what? That would be another distraction, wouldn't it? It really would. Would you want your coach, whatever coaching position he will take, or he would have, because he didn't take the position, do you want your coach, any coach, to take a knee before a game? No, that's another distraction. I don't think Harbaugh realizes that. Now, what would he be able to teach as a coach? That's a good question. What would he be able to teach as a coach? Would he be able to teach them how to take a knee properly? How to grow an afro properly? Because I don't know if Stephen A. Smith has said Collin would be a good coach. I'm not sure about that, because no matter the coach, you gotta be able to connect to the players. Okay, Bill Belichick, he got his criticism, but he was able to connect with his players. Do you see Colin Kaepernick being a good coach? I really don't. I really, really don't, because you're supposed to be teaching about the fundamentals of the game. But I don't think he'd be teaching fundamentals. I think he would be talking about his persecution as a black man to other quarterbacks, when I think that they're more focused on improving their game. I don't think Collin would be a good coach. This is a story that just doesn't seem to want to go away. It just continues to go on year after year after year. Collin has said, and he went on record saying the NFL is racist. 1930, maybe. Now, no. Have you looked at the rosters, how many black players there are? Have you looked at the rosters on how many black quarterbacks there are? No. NFL's a lot of things. But racist? No. There's no proof of that. None whatsoever. And him turning down the coaching position, he should have said yes. Even though I don't think he'll be a good coach, I think he should have said yes, because he's not going to get any offers for any starting position job as a quarterback in the NFL. He's too old, 36. I know there's quarterbacks that played in their 40s, but those were actually elite quarterbacks. Kaepernick is not an elite quarterback. He's not even an elite human being. Sorry, that's the way I feel about Collin, and I don't discuss him much, but when I do, it always creates a controversial video in and of itself. Me and Mom are saying that's all for now.
That's all for now.